Namaste, angels. This is the love reading for the period of today, Sunday, April 29th through Saturday, May 24th. A couple things that will be going on this week that I talked about in the general reading. On the 29th, to Monday, the 29th, will be the Feast of Divine Mercy in the Christian calendar. And on the celestial calendar, Saturn goes retrograde in Capricorn, which it rules. So it'll be joining Pluto, which is also retrograde in Capricorn. And then we have a lot of stuff going on in general with the earth element as the new moon that arrives on the 6th of the month. So next week will be in Taurus. And of course, the sun is currently located in Taurus. And that Saturn retrograde is going to last until September 18th, which is Virgo season, right? Which begins on August 21st and goes through to like September 21st. So that's what's going on, and that's probably why I got all this earth stuff here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this deck or not, but if I do, I'll be beginning with the King of Earth, who is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He is generous, professional, responsible, and practical as well. And this card is all about a successful time, and we should confidently accept any opportunities that were offered because we have the Midas touch. And those can be opportunities in love too. This is the love reading, abundance. Venus rules all abundance and she rules love, but then love is abundance too. So, that's like double. But behind it, when I picked up this card, also upright, is the Eight of Air. So somebody could be feeling stuck, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, being afraid to take action. Page of Water, also upright behind that. Interesting because Queen of Waters behind that too, also upright. And these two cards showed up in the general reading, and as did a lot of earth. And I said somebody could be like leaving a relationship with an earth sign for a water sign, or maybe vice versa. But I felt more strongly they were leaving the earth sign. And now I see like somebody could feel they're stuck in a relationship with a water sign or with an earth sign. With that Eight of Swords, indicates that somebody is feeling stuck, trapped in one situation or the other. I did see some people leaving. Just watch the general. Watch the general. You'll know what I'm talking about. Also going to begin with the Ace of Autumn from the Animal Tarot. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use these. I think I might use these first, actually. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. And this here, I didn't, plan to line these up in any kind of particular way, but after I was done, I was like, oh, they kind of go together. Like this one goes with this one, this one goes with this one, this one goes with this one. So under the King of Earth, I have my angel therapy cards, and the card that's on top is, have you asked your angels for help with this? And I felt that it was the masculine, the situation that I saw him in and wanting to get out of it in the general reading, that he needs to talk to his guides. And if he already has, then maybe try again. And this time make sure that his mind is quieted and that he's really open to listening. And if he still feels like he cannot connect, then perhaps talking to somebody with the skill and or gifts to maybe help him, or even just like a spiritual counselor, somebody really adept at that. Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So that's under the King of Earth. But under the Ace of Autumn, which is all about this windfall of abundance, is a very similar card, and it's called Infinite Abundance. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. Under that, also upright, because the other cards didn't have anything upright. This one does. It's Spiritual Teacher. You heal with your classes, sessions, and seminars. That's interesting too, because from another deck, a card like this showed up in the general reading. Then, and again now, I'm going to say that it's sort of reminiscent of the Hermit, which again represents the sign of Virgo. And the Hermit's very much about enlightenment, clarity, and either coming into your own, and or helping another to become clear on something, to see things more brightly illuminated. It's also a lot about, being a spiritual teacher, but also the student, like learning about you, teaching yourself about you through introspection. So the infinite abundance could come in that area. You could be coming into a lot of knowledge, a lot of clarity, maybe a lot of information about yourself. Then there was the Chariot from my fortune teller's deck. Charge ahead with confidence, stay strong and focused. This card is very much like the Chariot from the traditional tarot for me, about you being in the driver's seat and you also driving out like bullshit. Like they say, drive out the demons. Driving out the demons, like driving out people that you don't want in your life or things you don't want in your life, getting rid of it because you're in charge and you can do that. And this is a card of like being confident and strong and victorious too, like triumphant over difficulties. And right behind it, also upright, is something called a card called Judgment. Soul searching will bring you inner peace in many areas of your life. Well, that's like what I was saying here with the infinite abundance and the spiritual teacher, that had to do with soul searching. So you see how it seems like they're together as they're meant to be. It's very interesting. The other card is upright too. The next card is upright also. It's patience. And like this with this hourglass, and it looks like they have like equal measurements. It's reminding me of balance, but if I turn it this way, it'll be like infinity. But we don't have all the time in the world. We don't have infinite time, do we? Time is relative. Doesn't even really exist. Patience. Slow down. Change your attitude and clear your mind. The slow down part, very much a trait of retrograde signs, planets. They slow down, and so much so that they appear to be going backward. So that could be why that's there. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, I think I'll just use those first. And I'll do the spread from the Divine Masculine's perspective using just straightforward tarot cards instead of oracle cards this week. But first the dice. We're going to begin with party, yes, and romantic dinner. I also wanted to mention or to give my condolences to anybody who lost a loved one. So last week in the love reading, Spirit says dirty movie. Email. And still party. So dirty movie for me can be like online dating, maybe Skype or FaceTime, some kind of communication. Meeting somebody online, talking to somebody online or something like that too. So last week, I had been moved to use my Ascended Master cards, which I hadn't used in probably like 2 months at all for anything. But I was moved to pull those out and to use them during the love reading, which was also kind of weird. Like in the past where I have used them, it's either been in a moon reading or a general reading typically. So I pulled the White Buffalo card, which does not mean anything about death, except when I pull it. Like that's not what the card's about. That's not what the White Buffalo calf woman is about. That's not what the White Buffalo itself is about. It actually represents to Native Americans like the second coming of the Messiah, of Jesus. It has nothing to do with death. But when I pull that card, people die. And I went on to say that people likely watching the reading and other members of the collective, particularly the females, would lose loved ones. But then I felt distant, and I said that distance could be age or somebody you're not very close to. Sure enough, a couple of females, the people that they lost on my timeline at least, was like grandmothers. So it's not that you're not close to those people, but the distance I was seeing was probably the age difference, that these were older people. I said celebrities would go. Meadowlark Lemon, a bad basketball player, he died. The mother from Everybody Loves Raymond, she died. So those were the celebrities. I said national stage. Then within hours, I think it was like the next morning, but it was like within hours of the reading technically, since I did it in the wee time like I am now. We had some real tragedies, in Sri Lanka. churches that have been burned. And that was just like the most recent attack on a religious institution, because Notre Dame wasn't the only thing. That same day, basically, that Notre Dame was burning, there was a mosque burning. There was 3 churches in Atlanta had burned. Louisiana had been not burned. They didn't just burn; they were set ablaze by racists. So there was all over the world. This was happening, and that was probably like the most recent part. But I didn't necessarily expect any more. But I said, world stage. So it all came to pass very, very quickly. And again, to anybody who was affected by that, my deepest condolences. It is absolutely my greatest gift and curse, because I'm happy with, about all my gifts. I'm blessed to have them all. But at the same time, that one can be really inconvenient when it pops up in places like a love reading, as it did. So I'm not using those cards this week, and I'm not expecting to feel or say anything like that again. All right, so this happy note. Again, I'm beginning with the King of Earth: generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. And the King of Earth is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, maybe from your past, with the 6 of Water showing up immediately after, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past. 6 of Water often represents soulmate relationships for me, past life relationships, as it relates to love, exes and things coming back. Maybe because of a retrograde, right? They tend to bring people back. And then here we go with the 2 of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. So maybe the last time you saw each other didn't end well. Or the last time you spoke or something, had any kind of contact, whatever, there was something between you for which, some apologies needed to be exchanged, and they weren't. And now's the time when they can be, because we planted the seeds that we needed to plant for this time. The 7 of Earth is about us having taken action and now preparing to reap what we've sown. Seeds well planted. A temporary pause in action. Any worry is unnecessary. Like, if it looks like nothing's happening, still no need to panic. 2 of Water. And Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, which is the Fool in the traditional tarot. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, that leads to unexpected opportunities. For me, in this deck in particular, this card represents the planet Mercury. Don't ask me why, it always has. Like from the time I opened my first deck, and I've got like 3, because when they get like this, eventually I replace them, but I save them. I say one day I'm going to give them to somebody and let them have like my energy on them to help them, have a better, stronger reading. But anyway, yeah, so this is the Dreamer. It's always represented for me the planet Mercury, ruler of Virgo. So that's that, again, Virgo coming up again. And Gemini. 2 of Water. And the 3 of Earth. The power of creativity. Recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. So the 3 of Earth can be about a party of 3. I mean, we're doing the love reading. I have to mention love triangles, especially when it's popping up opposite the 2 of Water. Maybe there was some sort of, 3 thing that caused this conflict between the 2 that we just spoke about, where the forgiveness is necessary. Or maybe there's a relationship that began at work. 3 of Earth is a worker energy, can often represent like work projects or work relationships, whether they're friendships or romantic. Can also represent, similar to Judgment for me in the traditional tarot, abundance that is earned. Again, reaping what we've sown. So like bonuses, rewards, awards, raises, new positions, as in like new commitments and things. All of those. Okay. Sometimes they don't want to be picked up. And it is Major Arcana card 1, the Magician, another card representing the sign of Gemini. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. Overall energy is the 3 of air, basically the 3 of swords. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. So the 3 of air showing up in a love relationship doesn't necessarily mean that, the relationship is ended, is over. But it does mean, obviously, that there's, some trouble in paradise and maybe something for which apologies are necessary. Maybe that's why, again, the 2 of cups basically showed up opposite the 3 of earth or pentacles, because as it relates to work, it's like something may have happened at work to, bruise your ego or your relationships with people at the job. And so maybe, again, there was a relationship, some sort of party of 3 relationships stemming from a workplace thing. And at least one person is not very happy in that situation anymore. Yeah, I mean, again, relationships can still be saved when a 3 of air shows up, but it's definitely a sign of pain, hurt, maybe even betrayal, backstabbing, which is something else that showed up a couple times over in the general reading with more than one 10 of swords. So that's probably likely. It has spiritual meaning too, or all cards do. The 3 of swords is, remember when I talked in the beginning about the Chariot card and driving out demons and things, and I was kind of joking? That's kind of like what the 3 of air means as it relates to spirituality. Anything, any ideas, situations, people, whatever, like basically with which you don't align anymore or resonate or whatever, it's time to drive them out. It's time for them to go. Like not to not hold on to them any longer. And if that means getting out of some sort of party of 3, it's time. Divine Feminine. I forgot what spread I was going to do for a second. The masculine as it relates to the feminine himself. Union as a whole. Overall. What the masculine would have the feminine like do, contribute, surrender, you can choose your word, toward the union this week, what he himself is willing to. What the universe would have both do, focus on, whatever, work on, and wants to help them with. That's the really big part. The universe wants to help you with whatever this is. But you have to first commit to it. You have to affirm, to do it. The universe is not going to do the work for you. In this case, you're going to have to affirm to it, and then it will give you the full support. And this is the outcome. Divine Feminine. Page of Earth. Scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Page of Earth for me is a Virgo. What's this, like the 4th time Virgo's coming up already? First spread. Good news rather, about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging and a new area of study. The Page of Earth is scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Also not only a Virgo, but potentially a Taurus, Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. As it relates to love, the Page of Earth can be about you thinking is this really what I want? And stuff. I know it doesn't seem like, you probably think really the Page of Earth means that? Yeah, it does. In love, it's not really the most romantic card. It might mean you need to decide what it is you really want out of a relationship. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. Release. Major Arcana card, release, 13. Or death. The end of a phase or situation. Spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. So together, again, the feminine wanting to figure out if this is really what you want, and the masculine talking about releasing and moving on to a new, the next chapter. Again, that can be with regard to the whole relationship. I used that phrase, that terminology yesterday too. I said throw the whole relationship away, or aspects of it, that we want to do away with. Either can apply. especially with the Three of Swords as the overall energy still. We got to keep that in mind too. Some people may want to throw the whole relationship away. That's another meaning for judgment. Judgment in the tarot, as it relates to relationships, can be about the second time around, second chances, but also about coming to a crossroad and deciding, like, where do we go from here, if anywhere? Because some of us, we're going to go all the way, and some of us ain't going no further. I mean, that's really the long and short of it, Some people are meant for a season in our lives, and some people, just to be there with us permanently. All different kinds of soulmates, too. Masculine as it relates to himself in this bigger picture. And Six of Water. Memories from your history or childhood. Issues regarding children and romanticizing the past. So he's nostalgic this week, and perhaps interested in returning to the feminine if there has been separation. Union as a whole, from his perspective, he's worried about it. He's worried about it. He doesn't think it's on sturdy foundation. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. Overall, Eight of Water, a desire to move on. You see this sitting right here above release too, or death. Similarly, it's about him again wanting to move on to the next chapter. And that could be together, or it may be apart. The search for something more meaningful. Spiritual and emotional growth. That's the positive part. What the masculine would have the feminine do toward the union this week, not miss any opportunities that come their way, and to not be like pessimistic and like doubtful out the gate, like expecting crap, expecting the worst, like how the self-fulfilling prophecies, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. He wants her to see. What is he himself willing to do? This is the Tower. Life experience. Major Arcana card 16. Yeah, the Tower. A significant life event. A powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time you spread your wings. He's willing to turn his whole life upside down. He's, willing to let it all come crashing down too. Whatever has to happen. That's what the Tower means. Could be connected to moving too, maybe cohabitating for somebody. Maybe that's something that he's been fighting. I'm sure that's not for everybody, but like I said, for somebody that's listening, maybe the masculine have been fighting like cohabitation, or something even deeper than that involved them living together, and he's coming around. What the universe would have the two do, but they will have to first affirm. Oh, I didn't realize there was two cards here. Oh my goodness. It's the Five of Earth and the Five of Air. Just like we saw the Three of Earth and the Three of Air so far. Whoa. Fear surrounding money. The wisdom to accept help from others. Uncertain self-employment. Well, of course, those don't really apply to love. In love, for me, the Five of Earth and Pentacles, it's about fear of abandonment, fear of commitment, like I was just talking about, fear of lack, like we're just not going to have, worrying about, let's say, as it relates to a new relationship, like, am I going to have, is it going to be that same shitty relationship that I had with the other person? It is. Like, in talking to yourself into the fact, like, it's going to suck. And so I can't, like, before it even happens, trying to creating those self-fulfilling prophecies. And it's opposite the Five of Air, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motive. So, right away we can ascertain that the universe is saying wants to help us to not fall into that sort of negative pattern and allow that kind of thinking to overtake us. Not sinking to a place of like defeat, despair, and, like you've been beaten down, or again, lack. Also, the fact that, like, after you have experienced, like, you've been through the pain and stuff already, and so it's sort of like now you're greater than anything that's happened to you, because of your experiences, because of what you've been through, and having like surpassed them, been through the pain, the suffering, some of us maybe like dark night of the soul and all that kind of stuff, just the real struggle. After going through that, okay, you're okay now, right? Like you survived it. So don't stay there. Don't stay there. Like now you can, get up and walk away from that. And the universe wants to help you with that, but you have to, again, commit to it. If you're committed to wallowing in sadness and holding on to negative emotions and pain and anger, against somebody, again, from your past, maybe a soulmate, past relationship, you rather them, you rather like hold on to the inability to forgive and to regret and to resentment, then, you do that by yourself. But if you want to let that stuff go, the universe wants to help you. And the outcome. Ooh, a more exciting page as it relates to love. The page of fire. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So a new opportunity in that relationship, maybe, or with a new relationship, depending upon what steps you take. If you just rid yourself of the aspects of a relationship, then you have a chance to try, the relationship again. If you don't let go of the whole thing, if you throw the whole relationship away, then you get an opportunity to, meet someone new or to start a new relationship with, maybe somebody from your past, another person from your past or something. Some cards from the perspective of the universe. That was from the perspective of the masculine. I'm going to use the fortune teller cards. Again, begin with Chariot. Charge ahead with confidence. Stay strong and focused. An opening to Phoenix. Be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. Isn't that what that last spread exactly said? And didn't we end on a note of fire? With the page of fire, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or perhaps Mars himself or Jupiter himself, helping us to rise again from that fire, giving us a new opportunity. Chariot. Like flowers, right? When you succeed, when you win, when you're triumphant, people meet you at the finish line with a bouquet of flowers. When you graduate, people show up and say congratulations and hand you a bouquet of flowers. When you marry, you take your bouquet of flowers, and when you actually do it and you say, I do, you toss those flowers on to the next person, sort of handing over the baton. So the flowers are celebratory, but they're also a sign of victory, triumph. Flowers, be generous. Success and emotional fulfillment are yours. Flowers and Star. Hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. I'll do one more. Oh, okay. It's kind of showing me two. So one is the Fool, which is our second time seeing the Fool in this reading today. Have the courage to embrace change, take risks, and be adventurous. But also wish your heart's desire is ready to come true. Fool. Wow, isn't that cool how we're ending? It's not the same card, but it's another one of these fire cards, and it looks very much like the first one. Let go of emotional upheaval. That was our option at the end of the last spread, right? That was the choice we had to make. You want to hold on to it or you want to let go of it? Universe again saying let go of it and embrace the renewal of the present. Overall energy is cracker. Positive energy surrounds you. Love, joy, and good fortune awaits. And I just wanted to show you that owl had jumped out. It says, there are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. So another card that's indicating not necessarily death itself, but it's telling us, it's speaking of that energy that the death card brings, that transformation, transition, moving forward or moving on. I'm just going to arbitrarily stick it in here, right? Any old place. Divine being or couple. Recent past. Masculine's higher self. Near future. Blocks to individual or shared progress or union. What the feminine can do to help herself, what the masculine can do to help himself. Again, what the universe wants the two to do and wants to help them with, but they will have to affirm to it. And an outcome card. Divine being or couple. Lovers. Really like this card as representative of us. There are two paths ahead. Be true to yourself. So you can go the way that you think maybe society wants you to go, or your family, your friends, some sort of a belief system or ideology would, tell you to do, or you can follow your heart. Those are the two paths that this speaks of. And the card suggests that you be true to yourself. Recent past. Star. Hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. So we, probably experience some sort of shift in your life, and you can begin to feel the difficulties ending. I know that as it relates to air signs in general, like the star would in the tarot, the star represents the sign of Aquarius, where the moon is today, actually, in the sign of Aquarius. Or Saturday it was. I'm not sure if it still is Sunday. I keep forgetting it's already Sunday now. But yeah, as far as air, Mercury had been in retrograde for a while until last week. So that could have been some hard times because I know it was stressing people out. As far as Aquarius itself and its ruler, Uranus, that's currently located in Taurus and will be for like another 7 years. So that's not what it's talking about. I'd say, it's being straightforward and talking about at the surface, some difficulty that through which you were going, but I am going to attach some of that to Mercury retrograde and the fact that that is now over too and ended in the recent past. Near future. Love this. Birth. Universal energy brings you opportunity and possibility. And look how it is like the same colors as this Lover's card, talking about these two paths. So it's like you can go this way and allow yourself to be born, right, or reborn, born again, or you can fight that. Like those are the two paths again. Near future, this is coming up. Masculine's higher self. Flowers. Be generous. Success and emotional fulfillment are yours. And, this may be him also wanting to give flowers as, a sign of, I'm sorry. Right? People give flowers for apologies too. And I'm feeling that connected to makeups. The flowers are connected to makeups. Blocks the individual progress or shared progress. The block is only if you fight. Again, fight the rebirth and the reborn. Fight the transition. Instead, what your choice is here is to be prepared for the renewal after the period of crisis. Right? If you are being like that 9 of swords, that 9 of air, and manifesting negativity into your life, that's what you're going to have. And so that's the block. That would be what's holding you back. You're holding you back. You put yourself into this funky mental space that's now affecting your life because our thoughts become our reality. Or you can listen to the universe that it's telling you this fresh energy is coming up. I'm giving you this opportunity to take advantage of it. If you're prepared to be renewed and leave all the crisis behind, right? It's after a period of crisis. So they're reminding you again, the period of crisis is over, but are you ready to move forward? If you are, get those thoughts out of your head, stop clinging to it and, come on and go. If you're not, then you're going to hold on to it and you are your own block. Boom. What the feminine can further do to help herself. Take care immediately. to avoid temptation and deceit. The devil in the tarot represents the sign of Capricorn. Here, this is a pretty straightforward message. It's the same thing that I had already said about driving out demons. I laughed because I wasn't sure where the heck that was coming from, but yeah. Rebuking negativity, negative people, situations, circumstances. Nope, I don't want any more. I don't want it. I'm not interested. Don't be tempted by it, even if it's cute. Right? If it's a good-looking demon, still rebuke it. Especially rebuke it if it's a good-looking demon. What the masculine can do. I talked about backstabbers, by the way. Did I mention it? Yes, I did. But I'm saying it again because I just popped into my head again after I started to talk about this. I talked about backstabbers, and I talked about smiling faces, like that song, Smiling Faces, They Lie, They Don't Tell the Truth. Like people that are bullshitting you, people maybe that you think are friends that are not. So just be, like the card says, take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. That's not saying walk around paranoid, but, like keep your eyes open. And what the masculine can do to help himself, a coffin. Natural endings abound. Take care with your health. Like for you, masculine, is for you to not fight these things that are coming to an end. These things in your life that want to come to an end also. Like some stuff ends abruptly and we weren't expecting it. Very tower-like, which you said you were ready for in the last spread. Just comes in and knocks us down. And then some stuff we know in our hearts, if we're being true to ourselves, we're ready for it to end, but we still hold on to it because of, of ideologies, what people will say, how it'll look, blah, blah, blah. This is saying that kind of stress, that kind of, stress is the best word I can think of, can cause health problems in you. And my first thought is like high blood pressure, heart attack, and stroke is connected to those, too, with the blood pressure and stuff. Stroke also comes with vitamin B12 deficiency, and I've been talking about vitamin deficiency for at least like a month. I had been feeling it, and a lot of you went and got checked and absolutely were vitamin deficient, B and D. I just had to talk about it again with somebody on one of my videos. She was saying that she's fit, but she's been feeling like a lot of pain and like achy joints and stuff. And that can do it. But vitamin deficiency can definitely do that. But anyway, not to get off track. So masculine, you have to let things that are done be done. Otherwise, it's warning that that can lead to you being done, like before you're ready, before your time. The stress is too much. What the universe wants the two to do, and what we can do, but we have to affirm to it. Angel, like trust in the universe, trust in God, however you want to look at it. Your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. And the universe wants you to look to them and to ask for their support, ask for their help. But you got to do it. And the outcome. Ooh, key. New beginnings, directions, and adventures await for those ready to let go of the past. Do you see how it's specified? It's only for certain people. Only for the ones who don't block themselves. Those who let go of, or whatever it is. New beginning is ready for them, which is the same way the last spread ended. The last spread ended on the page of Wands. New beginnings, new opportunity. I'll do another spread, a more traditional one, beginning again with the Ace of Autumn. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, a rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or a promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment, or a new relationship with longevity and value, where you feel valued and deserving, right? Worthy, especially opening to the wheel opposite that. Major Arcana card 10, the wheel, represents the planet Jupiter, like the Page of Wands does, right? In the sign of Sagittarius, which Jupiter rules, where Jupiter is currently retrograde as well. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. The wheel. Wheel also connected, by the way, to the fixed signs, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus. But opening to the Queen of Spring, talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. Again, the Queen of Spring is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. There's another 3 of Autumn. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship comes from following your passion, listening to your heart, and doing what brings you joy. Get the message? Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. But I'd also open to the 7 of Winter. And look, it's got a key in its mouth. That key from the last spread was for those willing to let go of the past. That was the key to the new beginnings. The 7 of Winter represents thievery or theft, or something being taken away from you. That's the opportunity potentially being taken away, or you taking it away from yourself if, you don't move past holding on to the past. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. The wheel, one more. Ooh, ego, Major Arcana card 15, ego, which is the devil, represents the sign of Capricorn. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break away from negative thinking. So like if you say you're staying in a situation, for example, because of money, maybe you're worried about money, or the other person is the one with the money, so you got to stay with them or near them or whatever it is. You got to please your mom because she's going to cut you off, or your dad's going to write you out of the will, so you got to listen to him even though he's a lunatic. It's saying like, don't concern yourself with that sort of thing. It wants you to break away from the earthly. And coming to the 2 of Winter, which also showed up in the general. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. You've seen the pattern. They're all about this. You have to choose for yourself sort of thing. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. Overall energy is Major Arcana card, the World, card number 21. So yes, it is another number 3. We've had the 3 of Earth or Pentacles, the 3 of Air or Swords, and now we are having this Major Arcana card 21 equals 3 as well. In love, it's actually not bad. But for me, it can be the universe is easing you out of some situation that doesn't work for you anymore and into a new one, So again, that doesn't necessarily mean out of a relationship completely that doesn't work for you anymore and into a new relationship, but out of those circumstances, out of that dynamic. Like something's going to have to change greatly about that relationship. But for some, it's the fact that it's a party of 3 that needs to change. Like somebody's not happy in that situation anymore, if they ever were, and the universe pulling them out of that. It can also be about something coming full circle, right? Like sorry, flat earthers, like the earth is round. And so something has come 360 degrees. It's come full circle. Sort of like second chances again too. Like we're back here. We are back here again. And we have an opportunity to like right wrongs and stuff like that. Can be about traveling. Some of us might be traveling, even if this is just local travel, especially if you're single and, in the market to meet somebody, as it were. It's a good time, and you might meet somebody during those travels. Be sure to be social and to mix and mingle if you get the opportunity, right? Don't miss the opportunity. Remember that 4 of water from the last spread, or the first spread. Yeah, the first spread. For couples that are already together, and I'd say whether you're having difficulty or not, you can expect a deepening of commitment, or of the relationship, of emotion, sharing with one another or something. I think in the interest of time, I'm going to lay these first rather than flipping these over and then looking and then laying these. I'm going to lay them together and flip them over together. So we begin with celebration here, which particularly at this time of the year is very Pentecostal for me, and definitely about being like born again, rising again. The event of the Pentecost was after Jesus had risen. The story goes, after Jesus had risen, he was seen on the mountain, accompanied by Elijah. No, not Elijah. I was talking about Elijah with somebody earlier. So that's why I said Elijah. Moses and Abraham. Yeah. He was seen on the mountain with them. And so, or was it Elijah? Now I'm confused myself. And these are stories that I know. But like, I was just talking about, so somebody had a joke about Elijah earlier. And they said, something like when you're feeling down and out, remember that Elijah once said, yeah, God, I can't take it anymore. I'm so mad. I just don't want to be here anymore. I just want to die. And, God talked him out of it, and things got turned around. And it was like, the moral of the story is like, things can always be better, and we should never give up. And then I said, well, sorry, spoiler alert, like, ultimately he did give up and he was replaced with Elisha. That's the way the story goes. So yeah, I was just talking about him, and now I don't know. But yeah, anyway, in any case, the event of the Pentecost was Jesus being seen by his disciples on the mountain with other ascended masters that had long passed. So, of course, that was reason for celebration. Anyway, emergence is also something like rising again, right? Being born again. But it's what it even means to emerge, right? Is to like come forth again. And this card is very like phoenix-like rising from the ashes. And it's got these 3 rays of white light. White light is associated with Christ. And opening to sacred union. Emergence. Yeah, now I'm thinking it is Elijah, Jesus, and Moses. Oh goodness, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Anyway, major arcana card. This card, balance, reminds me of major arcana card temperance, which is also sometimes called balance in different decks, and represents the sign of Sagittarius. So more Page of Wands energy and opportunity. But in this card, and sometimes with the actual temperance card, it's more of like a healing energy. And it's that masculine and feminine energy coming together and to work in tandem for the healing, that yin and yang, like one can't work without the other. May also be talking about air and water signs here. I'll do one more. And it's back to celebration. So yeah, on that note, I will cut. I will cut. And coming to creativity. So we got this red-winged angel here. She's very fiery. It's like more like wands, right? More fire element, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo kind of energy. But she's standing in a pool of water with fish jumping out of it. So that's like very Piscean. So there's that water that we talked about. And then, of course, all this air that's here behind her. Aquarius with the star on her forehead over her third eye. She's got a star there. The star represents the sign of Aquarius in the tarot. But Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, as far as the air. And then there's a moon behind her. The moon in the tarot represents the sign of Pisces again. So we're back to the water. But the actual moon, or at least Earth's moon, because all the planets have their own moons, Earth's moon rules the sign of Cancer. So that's water too. But more importantly, this card is about coming up with creative ways to help to bring about abundance in your own life. And the overall energy is answered prayer. This answered prayer card also is very air and water to me. So the last three cards have, at least in part, been about air and water. Beginning with that balance one, which was the blue woman. There's the water and the white man with her, the air. But here we have another star. And it's over, strategically located over another communication center. So it's very Aquarius. But then we have this big butterfly here. So that's very Scorpio for me. And then there's like a scarab or something down there too, which is also pretty Scorpio for me. Represents like death and being in a tomb. All right. So, Crown of the Masculine, we have forgiveness and the Two of Autumn. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and personal life and to bring a spirit of fun for all you do. So you may need to apologize for not having had time for someone and maybe not explaining to them what our schedule entailed and or maybe not choosing them at all. Also, for me, sometimes the Two of Autumn or Two of Pentacles can have like a deja vu from hell energy, like I like to call it. And that may be tied to that coming full circle. It's like we're here again. We're in the same place again. Like, how do we get out of it? How do we move on? And so we may be moving on, beginning with forgiveness. That could help us to start the process of moving on from it. Surrounding the Masculine, speaking of moving on and letting go of something, it is Major Arcana card 13, release or death, yet again, which represents the sign of Scorpio. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So it's an ending so that we can have a beginning, which a lot of this reading has been about. And it's coupled with a card called Embrace, which looks like a couple, and a romantic couple in a very loving hug or something. But what it actually is one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a harmonious way. It is that yin and yang, one person's yin and yang. But I think, especially sitting here under these, it is about letting go of to whatever funky stuff the masculine had been holding in old energy, whatever, and embracing like the future instead, letting go, death to what is not working anymore, what didn't work, and the old, emotions, negative cords of attachment, and embracing something new to come. Masculine subconscious, speaking of Scorpio, it is the king of summer, warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. And it may be like a miracle to you that you're able to work something out with a person, that you're able to meet somebody new, perhaps. That you're able to find forgiveness between the two of you again and move past whatever your differences were. that you're even able to see each other again. It might be a miracle to you. You might even be like, I never expect to see you again in my life, but yet here we are. Those kind of things possible this week for those, again, ready and willing to let go of the past and to embrace the future. Crowning the feminine. Wow. So now we have the Queen of Summer mirroring the King of Summer. Definitely like a couple at the table. And speaking of coupled, she is coupled with love. And what is the Queen of Summer card about but love? Queen of Summer also specifically represents the sign of Scorpio, because the Queen in the tarot represents the fixed sign of any given element, and Scorpio would be the fixed sign of the element of water. Compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can follow and trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. Wow. Feminine surrounded by the Prince of Summer also. We got the King, the Queen, and the Knight here. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. That could be like the tower that showed up that the masculine said he was ready for. He's willing to go through that. To sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Prince of Summer, like the Queen, and the King, again, is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And you're on the right path. So keep following it, following your heart, following the message that you're receiving from within, and go for it. Whatever you feel yourself being moved to do. Moving toward love. I like it. Feminine subconscious. Major Arcana card, the Emperor, which may also be a Scorpio. The Emperor represents the planet Mars, ruler of Scorpio and Aries. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take a leadership role, as you have much wisdom to offer. Major Arcana card, the Emperor, can also be representative of an authority figure, a father. I like to say, like, if it's not a married man, it's like the marrying kind, you know, the kind you'd want. And it's here mirroring the King of Summer, which is pretty awesome. It could be a divorcee, a widower, maybe somebody again older than you, authoritative with like leadership qualities. And here coupled with the Goddess, which is like the Empress. It's like the Empress and the Emperor, basically, these two cards showing up together, which is representative of a very, very strong also and beautiful relationship between two, you know, like alpha figures. You know, neither one is here to be pushed around by the world. They're meant to conquer it together. Crowning. Fire and water. Make steam. This is going to fizzle out. We're moving on to better times when we let go of the fiery upheaval, like from the other spread. Golden Memories is a card about the fact that we need to let some shit burn, right? Again, negative emotions and cords of attachment onto what you've been holding, like regret, like resentment, ego, the inability to forgive, all these things. And it's sitting here next to that forgiveness card. These are the things we have to let just fucking burn up already. Let it burn. And that will allow us to move on toward happier, better times. The challenging times are over and coming to an end. And you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. So this card is at least about metaphoric movement, if not literal movement. And it too, like a couple of the others I've seen tonight, can be about travel. So you may be traveling, maybe going to visit somebody or meeting somebody while we're traveling. Or maybe bumping into somebody from our past while we're traveling too. And at the root, Major Arcana card, the Magician. And Emergence. So this is like more air and fire. Interesting. The Magician, again, for me, represents the sign of Gemini. There is magic in the air. You can manifest everything that you need to be successful. And with the Emergence, again, it's like rising from the ashes and being ready to start over. And so you already are understanding and depending upon the fact that you have this power, this ability. So you know that you can, bring whatever into your life you want. And it looks like we want love and we want positivity. At the heart of the matter, there's my Virgo. There's my Virgo. The Prince of Autumn, trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action steps and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn is a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And at the beginning of this reading, I mentioned that the Saturn was going to be retrograde in Capricorn through 9/18, and that was the season, a large portion of the season of Virgo. And if you've seen my readings in the past, then you know that Jesus, for me, is a Virgo. I believe he's a Virgo, and in my really older, former videos, I talked about why he's a Virgo, as in like supporting evidence, indicating that he's a Virgo. Wow, so interesting that he showed up here. Again, during the season of Pentecost too, no less. So really what this card means is that there's a bunch of little dots here. And if you stare at it long enough, it says that you sort of like lose yourself looking into it. And it's to illustrate how like we're all very necessary components to this larger thing, this larger one source. We're all needed and we're all connected. And to not, ever forget that, to not lose that, because as long as you hold on to that, you're always going to be able to manifest and to move forward. If you, never lose that, never forget that, who you are, what you are, and how powerful you are. And, in who or what's image you were made, what you were made to be able to do, like a god, the Prince of Autumn and the Prince of Summer, these may be components to the parties of three. Like I said in the general reading, I specifically mentioned earth and water. And now that, we've seen a lot of signs. There's a lot of characters came through this reading tonight. But now ultimately we're left with earth and water on the table as it relates to characters. Could definitely be some parties of three coming to an end this week. And it looks like for the good. Whether that means, the two will ride off into the sunset happily, or, somebody's going to be single afterwards. If they choose to move on, like whatever it means for an individual, I think it's still good. They're still going to be happy. All right, further to that, again, I wanted to get some advice from my life purpose cards, beginning with infinite abundance. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. And opening to talk to your angels. I think this is the third message of this kind that's come out too, 3 different decks tonight. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. Infinite abundance. Protected. You are safe and supported while you change your career or your situation, whatever your circumstance is. It doesn't have to actually be a job. Protected. Strength. Everything that you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. Strength. And speaker. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. could be just talking something out with somebody, right? Maybe toward that forgiveness. The gift of gab, I like to call it. And creative expression. So this is, again, about expressing yourself. Maybe come up with ways to talk to one another or, communicate. Your soul longs to express itself creatively. Overall energy is justice. Your career or relationship, I'm going to say, brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. Or you can bring fairness and protection to others who need your help. And lastly, from the angel therapy cards, we're beginning with, have you asked your angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene your free will choices. And opening to Archangel Raphael, the healing angel, is with you, supporting your healing work. So that's whether you are actually performing healing work or you're receiving healing work. He's still there to help. A major part of that healing is be willing to forgive. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Be willing to forgive. And Archangel Michael. You're working very closely with this powerful angel who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. Archangel Michael. I'll cut on him. Archangel Michael, otherwise known as the sword. That's a good place to cut, right? All through the scriptures, God says, I will send my sword. It's Michael. All right, if you get nervous, focus on service. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. Overall energy is goddess. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. Further advice to the masculine is cancel, clear, delete. You've got some stuff for people, places, and things to get rid of. Use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting, right? This magician manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. I think, and also, situations and people. To the feminine, ascended masters. Powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over and guiding you. Maybe like Elijah and Moses. Masculine, career change. You're embarking upon a career, and you don't think literal. I mean, for some of you, it might be literal, but it can be whatever this new focus of yours is going to be. We're just calling it career. It's going to bring you joy and abundance that you desire and deserve. It can even be a relationship. Feminine, you're on the right path, just like we saw here. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. Masculine, it is another temperance-like card. No, not just temperance-like, it is temperance. Major Arcana card 14. It's called balance in this deck, but that is temperance in the traditional tarot. By merging varying points of view, you can now generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. Feminine, it is Major Arcana card 20, renewal or judgment. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. So as I said about judgment earlier, it can be about second chances, second time around for some relationships, or about coming to a crossroad and deciding where do we go from here. It's also about abundance that is earned, like the Three of Pentacles. Masculine, very nice. Unity, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. I'm just looking down all of a sudden randomly. So not just an earth sign, but an air sign, and maybe most specifically a Gemini. With the 6th of winter, of course, 6 is June. That's the season and time of Gemini, and the Magician here. So something could be going on with a Gemini and an earth sign, or Gemini and a Scorpio, or a water sign in general too, or earth sign and a water sign, like as we saw yesterday. The feminine's fortune teller card. Ooh, proposal, a romantic or business opportunity is indicated, and it's indicated here too, because that's what the Prince of Summer is all about. He makes proposals, right? A deeply and emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly, such as with such whirlwind encounters. So stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and head and your intellect. The reason you got to make decisions is because he proposes something to you. Not necessarily marriage, but there could be engagements and stuff this week. A romantic opportunity is indicated. And with the masculine's unity card, I mean, from the same deck, look what he got as advice. So, wow. Deepening of commitments. And it's another justice card. Major Arcana card 8, justice. Fair and just decisions. I remember justice was the overall energy from the life purpose deck. Justice. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Major Arcana card Justice represents the planet Venus, ruler of Libra. So maybe that's the air sign too. Not just Gemini, but maybe specifically Libra. Having a relationship with an earth sign or a water sign. Maybe most specifically Cancer. I mean, well, I just said Cancer. That's not what I meant. I meant Scorpio. So maybe Cancer too. And speaking of the air signs, feminine, the Knight of Air. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And when he shows up, he is usually needing to make a decision, or he's awaiting one. So it could be in response to some sort of proposal. Lastly, for the masculine, from the Universal Love Oracle, is Tantric Union. So even if there's not physical reunion or renewal, there should at least be energetic and maybe even telepathic reunion and renewal. Maybe you haven't been seeing somebody in your dreams, you blocked them out, or your thoughts, you haven't been connecting, you're annoyed with them, you don't want to see them, you don't want to talk to them, but beginning to come back this week. And feminine for us, healing sounds, which what can be a healing sound? Hearing like I'm sorry, or hearing like I forgive you. Those can be healing sounds. And I think that's connected to the forgiveness. But also when this card shows up, it's guidance for us to maybe listen to some binaural tones or some sort of meditation or any kind of genre of music that makes us feel at ease and helps to give us peace of mind and maybe aids in our meditation. Maybe you want to listen to some sort of like motivational speaker too. I think speaker oration came up here. Some people like to listen to, different motivators and affirmations and things like that can help to get you through, anything you need to get through to prepare you for renewal. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. Thank you again for joining me and for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and, sticking around for next time. I guess next I'll either be back with client readings, because I have a couple of those to do, or the moon reading. Because sometimes I don't always publish the client readings. I'm pretty random about when I do or don't. So I'll either be back with some of those, or I'll definitely be back with the moon reading after this. Namaste.